Season 2, Episode 2, Sticking to One DAW. If you're wanting to save money, if you're wanting to learn faster, and if you're wanting to see results in your beats, I promise you sticking to one DAW is going to do that for you. So if you want to check out the free book, which has my 5 keys to a successful beat, as well as my 7 core principles for being a music producer, just go to itsgratuitous.com/5 keys, and that book is going to prepare you to launch properly as a music producer, as well as be aware of a lot of powerful things, such as like picking a key and scale before making the beat. There's tons of stuff in that book. So again, just go to itsgratuitous.com/5 keys. I'll send you the book for free, okay? Now, before getting into the episode, I want to let you know that I updated the Learn Your Gear page with a new article about buying audio cables. There's a lot of good information in there. We talk a little bit about balanced and unbalanced. I drew some diagrams for you. It's not too long. Check out the article to learn more, okay? Just go to itsgratuitous.com/learn your gear. Okay, so let's get into the episode about sticking to one DAW. So the first thing I want to say is you have to first decide what is your purpose for using the DAW, the digital audio workstation, which is just the music program that we use to make our beats. But the thing is, a digital audio workstation can be used for more things than just making beats. Like it can be, again, for beat making. It can be for mixing, mastering, sound design, sound effects. But I'm talking to you guys to learn to make beats in this episode. Now, it doesn't matter what DAW you use. You know, you can use Ableton, Logic, Pro Tools, whatever. I suggest FL Studio if you are making beats, okay? FL Studio is the only DAW I use, but at the end of the day, it always comes down to the producer and their skills, not the DAW, right? You know, some producers are like, oh, this DAW has this feature or this feature. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. The music program is just where we make beats, okay? That's it. It's you as the producer who has to learn how to make beats. So the next thing I want to tell you is that to make a beat, there's actually 2 stages to make a beat. So everyone wants to make the beat, right? But the thing is, there's something in the way of learning how to make the beat, and that's the music program. That's the DAW, the digital audio workstation. It's hard to learn, and this is usually where people don't continue with music. And it's because the music program is so hard to learn. That's why I say stick to one DAW, to one digital audio workstation. You're going to see results a lot faster. And then you're going to be learning how to make beats, okay? Because there's 2 stages. You have to learn the music program, then you have to learn how to make beats. And when I say learn how to make beats, well, for example, do you make hip hop beats? Do you make dance beats? Right? These require totally different knowledge. Like, yes, we're using the same music theory when it comes to our chords, but for the drum loops, right? The timing's all different. Everyone wants to learn how to make the beat, and learning how to make the beat, there's so much knowledge around that topic in itself. But again, the music program allows you to make the beat. And if you don't know how to use the music program, you're never going to learn to make the beat. So by sticking to one DAW, I promise you, you're going to learn a lot faster, okay? Now, again, it's important to talk about what are you using your music program for. If you're doing heavy recording and stuff like that, I don't think FL Studio is the best DAW for you. FL Studio can use audio and you can record your voice and you can make songs, no problem. Radio ready quality songs for sure if you know what you're doing. But when it comes to editing that audio, you know, FL Studio isn't the best, but FL Studio for workflow with MIDI is. Okay, FL Studio is so good with MIDI. And so what does that mean? That means when we're using our one-shot drum samples to program into a step sequencer, or they call the channel rack, or adding in our notes into a piano roll. Like FL Studio's piano roll is so good. It's so fast and intuitive. That is using MIDI. And if you have checked out my Safe Spots book, you know I teach you all about MIDI. MIDI is the secret to becoming a good producer. You know, a lot of producers always look towards all these fancy plugins, all the expensive plugins. But the thing is, MIDI is the core basics of how your music program works when it comes to these virtual instruments, when it comes to programming in our drum samples. I teach you all about that in my Safe Spots book, as well as the course, right? Just go to itsgratuitous.com/safe spots. It's my teaching curriculum all about drum loops. And for those of you who have taken it, whenever you talk to me about safe spots, it's like it's this language which I've kind of created, and it's cool because it makes sense, right? We have our organic tools: velocity, layering, panning, note nudging, sound selection. These are the things that producers need to know to learn to make good beats. So let's just do a quick overview of what we covered. To make a beat, there's something in the way, and that's learning the music program, which is hard in itself. Once you learn the music program, now you can start making beats. But again, making beats is hard in itself. And if you are jumping to different music programs, what's happening is you are spending more time learning the music program than learning how to make beats. The beat making usually translates from DAW to DAW, right? If I want to make a hip hop beat, well, it's just knowing how can I place my notes inside that music program for it to sound the same. Because every music program, is tempo. 90 beats per minute is 90 beats per minute. 90 beats per minute isn't going to be different in FL Studio than Ableton because it's 90 beats per minute, right? So those are the things that stay the same in a music program. So don't get caught up in thinking that you need tons of music programs. I also wanted to create this episode for those of you who do use FL Studio, and sometimes when you look in tutorials, you think, ooh, maybe I should try that DAW. Maybe I should try that music program. I promise you, if you use FL Studio and you make beats, you're not doing heavy recording, FL Studio is your option. It's about learning how to use the music program, okay? So just a bit of comfort for you guys that you're doing good if you're using FL Studio, if you're using your virtual instruments, if you're using one-shot drum samples. I promise you, at the end of the day, you will have the true reward of making your own music. There's no feeling like it in the world, making your own music from scratch and being able to listen to it. If you want to learn what version of FL Studio to buy, I'll leave a link in the description. All right, so closing out. So again, you guys can get my free book. It's called 5 Keys to a Successful Beat. So simple, it becomes creative. Just go to itsgratuitous.com/5 keys and I'll send it to you. This book contains my 5 keys, as well as my 7 core principles of being a music producer. The first principle in the 7 cores is stay inside your DAW and don't come out. For those who have read it, you guys know that staying inside your music program is the only way you're going to learn, right? When you're on YouTube watching tutorials, what happens is you watch the one tutorial, somehow all of a sudden now you're on the 5th or 6th tutorial, it's getting late, and you only spent like 20 minutes making music. You spent like an hour watching videos, right? So by staying inside your DAW, then you leave when you have a question, but then get back in your DAW, okay? So that's principle number 1. But by sticking to one DAW, it's going to save you money and it's going to allow you to stay more focused. So I hope you enjoyed the episode. Check out other episodes or just visit the website itsgratuitous.com for all your FL Studio training needs.